Hi, everybody. I'm Alyce-Kay Rucklehouse from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Rucklehouse. And I just wanted to give you a personal update and also tell you what's coming up this week. So I thought, because there's going to be several things I'm going to cover in this, first of all, I'm going to talk really fast, so it takes less time, but also I'm going to just kind of run through really quickly what I'm going to talk about so that you can decide whether or not it's worth watching the rest of the video. And not necessarily in this order, but I have a new roommate, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to talk about my health, get a little update on that because I get a lot of questions about that. Bill's estate and his sweaters. If you're interested in buying any of his sweaters, I'm down to the last like 40 or so. So I'll explain about that. I'm going to tell you what's coming up this week on my channel, and also my new Facebook group that I'm super, super excited about. It has just been really active and just a real blessing. So the first thing is I have a roommate, and she just moved in this week, and that's really, really exciting. It's really funny because when I've told a few people that I have someone moving in with me, they've been very concerned. So I just thought that I would reassure you that this isn't somebody I just met off the street. This is my best friend of 31 years, and we have been through a lot together, and we know each other really well. and it's kind of actually been my dream for quite a while for us to be able to live together if we were both single. And so I'm just really excited about this. We were in business together back in California for a while. I think maybe like 5 or 6 years. And so that's a possibility again, but not for sure. So if you know us from that time, be praying about that while we decide. The biggest thing that we're focused on right now is our animals. I have a dog, a big dog, who's like part lab and part hound. And I have 2 cats, and then she has 2 smaller dogs that are, I think, like rat terrier, and the other one is a whippet rat terrier. So they're small. So they seem to be getting along well. The dogs are getting along really, really well, and hers are just adorable. And mine is being so cute and funny with them because she's like 3 or 4 times their size, but she just gets along with them really well, and she's so happy to have friends to play with. And then my cats, they're having a harder time, but we expected that. So hopefully they'll all adjust really well and everything. So, but anyway, so it's just going really well. I'm so excited about this. It's going to be good for both of us. We're both going to really help each other out and everything. And yeah, so it'll be good. I think it will be like one of those exponential improvement things. Okay, then as far as my health. So if you're squeamish, don't look, but this is, oops, there we go. See right there. I don't know how many vials of blood taken from me on Wednesday. I mean, they had a whole tray full of vials, and I thought, can I spare that much blood? Seriously, it was kind of scary. And I have a tendency to pass out when they take my blood. So I turned away and didn't look, and it was incredible. This technician was so awesome. I didn't even know that she was already taking my blood, and then she was done. So that was pretty cool. Just a funny story. One time when they were taking my blood a few years ago, I had just mentioned to the technician, I do have a tendency to pass out. So they're always careful about like either putting pillows by me or having me lie down. For some reason, I think it's harder for them to take blood when I'm lying down. I'm not really sure why. My blood comes out really slowly, and so that's a problem. And anyway, so just as she stuck the needle in, the electricity went out. And so that wasn't a good thing. But anyway, I did fine this time. And so I have a doctor appointment this week, and hopefully that blood will not be for naught. Hopefully that will help us figure out what's going on. Right now, I think probably the strongest possibility is long haul COVID. I had a nurse suggest that to me, and she had me get a pulse oximeter, which I think I told you all about last week. And at that point, my oxygen saturations were like 82 to 92. And so I've gotten that up to where most of the time it's like 95 to 97, which is good. 82 to 92, I think is not very good. And it's not good for your organs, your brain, or anything. And then this morning it was back down to 87. So I'm not happy with that, but I'm going to work again on bringing that back up. But anyway, so that nurse had suggested that it could be long haul COVID. And so she told me to kind of like read up on it and stuff and see what I thought, if I thought that fit it. And it's like, yeah, it seems to fit it. And I talked to a couple of friends who have long haul COVID, and our our symptoms are exactly the same, including, this was really weird. So if any of you have had this, let me know, please. But I just mentioned to them as we were talking about something else that it's really weird because right now I'm having a hard time reading things. Even things that are very well organized are just hard for me to understand. I seem to do okay with stories, but still not as good as I normally would. But things that are like nonfiction or business or anything like that, I have a very hard time understanding it. But when I have Alexa read to me, I understand it perfectly. And anyway, I just was mentioning that to my friends who have long-term COVID, but we were off the long-term COVID subject at that time. And they mentioned that they've had the same problem. And they have a friend of ours living with them right now, taking care of them. They're in their 80s. And they can understand what she reads to them just fine. So I don't know if that's like a symptom of that or what. So I'd kind of like to hear from some of you if you've had anything like that. I've never heard of something like that before. It's so weird. One thing I have to say about Alexa, you all know I love Alexa. I have 2 of them and I'm actually getting one more because it was like on a really, really good sale. And so I wanted one in my office because I had 2 already, one in my kitchen and one in my bedroom. And so that was good enough that I could hear them from any place in the house, but I had to turn them out really loud. And so with a roommate now, I don't want her to have to hear Alexa shouting at me to take my homeopathics right now or anything like that. So I'm going to have one in my office, but yeah, I really love it. And I did change her name to Siggy rather than Alexa, because when I would tell Alexa to read a scripture for me in any of my videos, it would set off other people's Alexas. So I changed the name and I put a man's voice on it, which is really nice to have in a house of females. So plus he snores at night, which I really like. Just helps me feel more comforted. So what was I saying about all this? Alexa. Oh, anyway, so Alexa. So there's this one book that I was reading and it had a lot of Latin in it, which I don't know Latin. I can kind of like figure out what's being said because I learned some Latin for medical transcription. And my 4th grade teacher actually taught us a lot of Latin, you know, like for word roots and stuff. It's very useful. I mean, when I teach English classes, like to Chinese and stuff, I add to the lessons, I add a lot of Latin word roots and show them how they can figure out what things mean from that. So I can kind of get the gist of something when it's in Latin, but I can't read it and I don't really understand it. Alexa reads Latin fluently and exuberantly. And so even though I don't know what she's saying, it sounds really exciting. So that's just another ad for Alexa, right? So that's my health. Just also on my health. And please be praying for this. Pray that they can figure out what's going on, but also just pray that I can get better, that it's not anything permanent. I'm having a harder and harder time walking. And so that's been really difficult. I did get a walker. I haven't put it together yet because we were so busy with moving my friend in and everything, but I'm hoping to get that put together this week and start using it. And I really need to swallow my pride. Geez, I don't feel like I'm old enough to use a walker yet, but I did get one of those standing walkers. My mom had gotten one for my dad and she really recommended it. And that was one of my biggest hesitations to using a walker was, you know, you see everybody bent over them, even though they say you're not supposed to bend over, but everybody is. And I've tried using one and you just automatically bend over. And my back is the one part of my body that doesn't hurt. So I don't want to make that hurt. So I got one that stands upright and you put your arms on it and it's supposed to really help with your posture, which I could use some help with my posture too. So yeah, so anyway, hopefully I'll start doing that this week. Okay, so Bill's estate. So first of all, this Thursday, the 14th, is the anniversary of Bill's death. And I'm doing a lot better with that this year. I'm still sad. I miss him and I cry some, but I'm not like depressed from that, I don't think. I look at pictures and watch videos of him and stuff, and it just pretty much makes me smile and have good memories. But that doesn't mean that I don't miss him or that I love him less or anything like that. It's just that my grief is shifting, I think, maybe to like more of an acceptance and stuff. And also I'm glad that he's not going through all this garbage that we're going through right now. He really, really loves our country. And I think it would have killed him to see what's going on. It just would have been so stressful. He probably would have had a stroke and been paralyzed or something. So I'm not glad that he's gone. I can't say that, but I'm glad that he's not having to deal with this. So the big thing right now, and this is probably the biggest thing for me right now, this is like the biggest stress, the biggest thing on my shoulders, is his estate. So there's still a lot to do on that. And a lot of stuff that I have to sell, including his sweaters. I don't get any money from that. It goes to his estate to pay off debts, but it helps me because of that. So hopefully, you know, hopefully I know that I won't be able to pay off all of his debts, but it will help at least. And so, yeah, so most stuff will be sold probably like on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, but his sweaters, because they're easy to ship, I've been selling through a group on Facebook. And I'm gonna have the link below for that. I had been auctioning them because I had a lot, his inventory and stuff. Usually he did custom sweaters, but we had a lot of inventory. And so I've been auctioning those off. Now I'm down to, I think about 40, I'm not quite sure, but I think about 40 sweaters are left of different styles and stuff. And what I'm going to do is people who are interested, you have to join the group if you're not already part of the group, and I'll put the link below. And then you can put that you're interested. There's a post for that. And if you can't find the post, just put a note to me, make sure you tag me, and I will tag you on that post. And then I will talk to people individually, like on Zoom or Facebook or something like that, you know, where I can show you the sweaters. So like if you tell me I'm interested in something in extra large or something, or I'm only interested in grease wool or cashmere or whatever, then, you know, I'll know what to get out for you. And so, so we can do it that way. And then what I'm thinking is I will like take kind of preliminary reservations that way. And then that way, like whoever I talk to last, it doesn't mean that they're left with the dregs. There aren't any dregs, by the way. These are all really nice sweaters. The sweater is sold for $95 to $600, and I'm selling them for a lot less than that. So this is a really, really good deal, but mostly also, you know, I have to sell them and I need to get the money for paying his debts, but I also want them to go to people who really care that he made them. Either because they care about his craftsmanship or because they knew him or knew him through me or whatever. You know, I'm not limiting it to that, but those are the people who it's important for me to give them the opportunity to get some. And if, you know, if you don't know me and you're just interested in sweaters, that's fine too. Because I'm to the point where I just have to get rid of them. I have to sell them. But you're going to get a good deal on it. So what I'll do is I'll take reservations, preliminary reservations of what everybody wants. And then if there's anything that more than one person wants, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but I want to make it fair so that everybody who wants one can get something. Okay, so, and if you have any suggestions on that, you can leave comments in the Facebook group, or actually private message me in Facebook, but you can do that through the group. Okay, so that's it about this state. And then I have a whole bunch of other stuff to sell, but they're bigger items that can't be shipped. Coming up this week on my channel. So we're studying, I thought I had it here, yeah, I do. Now It Will Spring Forth, which was the first novel in my Isaiah Cadre series. It looks like this, but this is actually the study guide. So this is thin, the novel's thick. And so the novel, I don't want to get into a lot of detail because I've talked about this before, but just in case you're hearing this for the first time, my novels, they're good stories. I mean, people tell me that they're really, really good. And, but they're also, the reason that I wrote them is to help you to live out your faith. So they're what's called transformational fiction, which is supposed to help you transform, okay? And the most common comment that I get on these books is that it makes people want to have a relationship with God like my characters do. So that's what this study is about helping you to actually do that. So what we're doing right now in the study is preliminary before we're even talking about the story, is we're going through and I'm talking about each of the scriptures that we'll be looking at that are either quoted in the book or alluded to, or they support a principle of what's happening in the characters' lives. And by the way, you don't have to put out any money to be able to be in this Bible study. You can if you want, and that really helps me if you do, but I don't want anybody to not be able to do this because they either don't have the money or they don't want to spend the money, which is also totally fine. So the study guide, it's on Kindle. I think it's $2.99 on Kindle. I think it's $6.99 paperback, but you can just use a notebook because I'm saying what the questions are and everything. So you can just write down the questions in your notebook if you want to, or your journal, or type them on your computer while you're watching the video. The book, you can get the paperback, and I believe it's $15.99, I think. It's also on Kindle, but you can also get it free. You can get the gentle version for free, and I'll explain that in a minute. You can get the gentle version for free, and that'll be links below, as well as the links for buying them if you want to buy them. So the gentle version and the regular version. So there's a rape in this. And some people told me that it was really important to them to have the rape fairly detailed so that you would be able to see the trauma in that. And then that's contrasted with God's grace in handling the situation and helping her get through it, helping her and her almost fiance get through it. But for other people, the rape is a trigger. So, and also, I didn't think that it was appropriate to give a book with a somewhat described rape to teenage girls. So, or to discuss it in a Sunday school class, because there are groups who use the study guide. And, if you've got a Sunday school class with men and women in it, that's kind of awkward. So I wrote a gentle version, which implies the rape, but doesn't go into any of the details. So the gentle version you can get for free using the link below. The regular version, it might be for free on Amazon too. I'm not sure. You can look and see. I can't remember, but that's also for the ebook. So anything free that you get is going to be ebook form because I can't afford to give away the paperbacks. Okay, so that's what that is. So right now we're going through the scriptures, and I talk about the scriptures. So it's kind of like just a devotional in itself. Even if you didn't want to do the whole study or read the story, you could get quite a bit just from us talking about the scriptures. Okay, so I'll do one or two of those, probably two of those this week. I'm not sure. I haven't recorded yet, so I'm not sure what day I'm going to be doing each of these things. And then we'll have probably just one, but possibly two of our left brain, right brain Bible survey, where we're looking at different Bible stories using a coloring book. Now, this is a children's coloring book, but the videos are for adults. And it's not that I say anything that would be bad for children to hear, but it's just like not geared to their age group or anything like that. I don't like drop F-bombs in my Bible studies. Try not to. No, I don't do that. But yeah, they're not, I'm not making them for children. I'm making them for adults because I have found that a lot of adults don't know the Bible stories. And even if they do, a lot of times they don't really know how that relates to the rest of the Bible or to themselves. So we talk about the Bible story. Actually, Alexa, or I call it Siggy because I've got a man's voice. Siggy reads the passage while I'm coloring. And then while I'm still coloring, I'm talking about like how this relates to other parts of the Bible and how this can relate to your life. And a lot of times I give a challenge for you in your spiritual walk with the Lord. So I think those are really cool. And the reason that we do the coloring too is because then we're using both sides of our brain. We're using the logical left side of our brain, and we're using the creative right side of our brain. And that just helps you to learn. And also you're using different senses. So you're listening, obviously, you're seeing, and you're using your sense of touch and movement, your kinetic. And then if you like repeat some of the things after me, I don't tell you to repeat things, but if you just say them after me, then you're also voicing things. You're not really using your sense of smell. Well, I don't know, the crayons I'm using smell pretty cool. So anyway, it's a really neat study. It has turned out to be really, really cool. And it's not shallow at all. It's pretty deep. So, and then the other thing that I want to talk about this week on my channel is centering down. And that's something that can especially be used to help with anxiety. But it's also just a good way, if you tend to be distracted when you're having your devotions or when you're praying, centering down at the beginning, which is a quicker practice, really, really helps. And I've been doing this since 1979 or 80. It would have been early 1980, my freshman year of college. I had a class where we talked about the book, and this book is still in print. So it's a Christian classic. It's wonderful. I really, really recommend the book, but you don't have to have the book to do this, because I'm going to show you how to do it in the video. I have talked about it in some of my other videos, but I haven't really taken the time to show you. So this is going to be an actual demonstration of how to do this, because I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful practice, no matter what denomination you are, Catholic, Protestant, whatever. And then also I'll have on Friday a chaplet of divine mercy. I haven't decided on the topic yet. I do have somebody who's mentioned a topic and who wants to do it with me. So I'm not sure if that will happen this week or in the future, but I'm really excited about that, because I'd like to get more of you involved in actually being on my videos with me. Would be really cool. So then one more thing to talk about, and that's that I have started a new Facebook group. I'm really excited about this. I had been selling Mary and Martha products, and I've stopped selling those. I love the products a lot, but they're not necessities. And right now, with the way that the economy is, I just didn't feel comfortable encouraging people to get things that weren't really necessary right now. And you know how, like, when you invite somebody to a party where something is sold, you feel pressured to buy something. And just a lot of people right now, they really shouldn't be doing that or can't be doing it. And so I just didn't feel right about it. So, I may sell that again. I'm not sure, because I was doing really well with it. And they're wonderful products. They have a lot of great devotionals as well as like plates and stuff. But anyway, so I was going to close that group, but what I decided to do instead is to change it to something else. And this has just kind of exploded like wildfire. I'm really excited because people have been very, very active on it. And it's called Pray, Serve, Go. And I'll have a link below too, so that if you want to join, you can. And it's for, again, Christians of all denominations, Catholic or Protestant, doesn't matter. And also levels of Christian maturity. So you might have been a Christian for a long time and you've really been following hard after the Lord for 50 years. That's great. You might be a brand new Christian. You might be somebody who's been a Christian for a long time, but you still feel like you're not very mature in your faith. Whatever, you are welcome. And I'm hoping that those who are more mature in their faith will help those who need more help, that they'll help them with that. And then also in that, we're kind of doing some casual Bible study, and I have questions and stuff that we have discussion on. And I know that a lot of the people that I specifically invited to be part of the group have different kinds of ministries, not necessarily formal ministries, but ministries that they're doing. And I'm hoping to, like, maybe once a month or so, have probably a Zoom meeting, but we'll probably record it and post it on there also. But those of you who want to join us live on that Zoom meeting, you would be able to, where we would hear from that person about their ministry, where people could ask questions, where if you're interested in starting a ministry yourself, you can get some ideas from them. They can help you with, like, what are the technicalities that you need to do and stuff. Or if you're interested in helping them with their ministry in some way, whether it's financial or volunteering or, whatever, even going to a different country, because we have people from all different countries in this. This is just a really, really good opportunity, you guys, for you to really grow in your faith and make it practical. That's what I want. I also just want us to be able to learn from each other, because it's a rich group, you guys. I don't mean financially, but I mean spiritually. This is a rich group of people who have all kinds of different experiences and talents and gifts to be able to share with each other. And I just think this is going to be amazing. I think there's going to be some really incredible contributions to the kingdom of God through this. So if you would like to join that, the link will be below for you to do that. Okay, so I think that's it. And I've almost reached half an hour, so I'm going to stop. I was trying to talk really fast so I wouldn't reach half an hour. I've hit 25 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. Anyway, I love you all. If there's anything that you have questions about that you want me to cover in next week's update like this, if you would private message me, that would be best. Or you could put a comment below too, as long as it's not something, as long as it's not something about private, then you would want to private message me. But yeah, go ahead and do that. That wore me out. All right. I love you all. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.